Views from the 22, live on the scene. We here, we here, we here. Germ So True, Vic Jr., Views from the 22 representing. Shouts out to Chef. Couldn't be with us tonight, but never know. He could pop up. That being said, all the politics out the way, man. We will get that done at the end. This right here is the Views from the 22 draft reaction show. Yes, we waited till Thursday. Yes, we waited until now. Why? Because it's time to go back through the board, see where we have players ranked, see where some teams look like before the draft, and to go over everything the way that only Views from the 22 knows how to do. Big man, first and foremost, brother, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, bro. That was a fun weekend. The draft was pretty entertaining. I think a lot of teams did well. Um, it was there, to me there was more that did good than did bad. Maybe you'll say different, but I think a lot of teams did a good job adding some good names. It's a good depth to their rosters this weekend.
Absolutely. And for me, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't like a lot of the drafts. I thought we had a lot of reaches, especially by a lot of these organizations that were doing certain things. So I mean, look, I'm here for all of this. I'm excited because we gotta like me and Vic talk about this all the time. We got a crazy year that we're getting ready to embrace and embark on here. So
Hmm.
shouts out to everybody in the comments. I see we got Kevin Watson, we got the first lady Tanya. Shouts out to the homegirl Siobhan. Shouts out to Jaquan. Everybody's in the building. Shoot them jumpers, y'all. We here to go. We here to go. So let's just jump right into it, Vic. First and foremost, bro, we just gonna be honest and we're gonna get right into this thing, and we're gonna get into it the right way. I want to make sure that we do this the right way. And we want to talk about some teams that did very good on draft day. And I'm even going to come back with this and I'm going to guarantee that some of the teams that we're going to talk about today are teams that probably weren't on some people's radar for different reasons. But I mean, hey, this is why we views from the 22, baby. So we're going to start at the top. Vic, we're going to start with the Miami Dolphins.
Hmm.
I'm actually going to share the screen here so everybody can see what their draft look like here. And first and foremost, Vic, I think Jalen Waddle is a tremendous player. I think he's a really, really good pick here for this team. But the big thing here is the best value pick here, right here, in my opinion, is getting Jalen Phillips at 18. I think
Yeah.
that's the star pick for me. I think he's one of the best and premier edge rushers in this class. You get a guy like that, he may be the Jason Taylor of this defense moving forward for the next 15 years. So I'm gonna let you jump in right there and let's start from right there. First two picks.
Yeah, no, I mean Jalen, bro, like at 18, as you can see there on the description, just if he stays injury free, that's a dominant player that they grabbed there, that can play along the whole defensive line. It doesn't matter the edges. He can play some three technique. He could even line up at the one technique right between the center and the guard, and kind of cause some havoc there. This is a kid that just has a combination of size and speed, man. That's pretty tremendous. So with that New England type of hybrid defense, that coach forget drawing a
Flores.
blank, of course.
Flores.
Yeah, but Coach Flores runs over there. I mean, that is he's going to be a tremendous pick. Of course, Jalen Waddle. This is a kid that this is Alabama's talent right here. Speed and precise route running. These kids, even if it's not a natural thing for them, they get there to that school, and all of a sudden they become really, really good route runners. So you have a situation here, like as you can see here on the description from CBS, they're comparing to Tyreek Hill, and that's a comparison that I think is fair in terms of the fact that Hill throughout his career he's improved in his route running. So he's not only this speed guy that can run two or three routes up the field. This is a kid that can run routes, and they can definitely use their speed and quickness and their ability to get in and out of cuts to get open. So Waddle with Tua, that's one of the first ones, college combinations that got to put together in this draft, which was interesting to me.
Absolutely. And now with that being said, shouts out to Trav. What's up, bro? In the comments. Hey, so now let's get into some of the other value picks here. I love value players in general, and why, Vic? Because value is important everywhere. So when we get to pick up defensive linemen here, pick 42, you get a lot of these Notre Dame linemen, from what a lot of people don't know, are very, very versatile. They can play multiple positions on the
Yes.
offensive line. So to get a guy like Etchenberg here, right there at pick 42, was pretty damn impressive, because I think overall, number one, even though he wasn't on my top 50 radar, he's
Yeah.
definitely a player that is still worth it. And again, adding beef,
Right.
beef. The better your beef, no,
No beef, no body.
that's what we here for, baby. So, Vic, let's talk about some things here that we thought about with the Dolphins, just in general. Tua needed to
Now,
be healthy.
yeah.
And of course, besides him being healthy, we also wanted to see them continue to add to what
Yeah.
started to be a advantage for them, which was the offensive line. So
Right.
let's talk about that.
No, they improved. Austin Jackson was an improvement last year. First round pick for them last year. Tremendous talent there that they put at left tackle. They also drafted Robert Hunt later in the draft last year. So now, he was a guy that plays some right tackle. Where you and I both said this is a guard automatically. Like this kid can dominate in guard. So now with this pick of Eichenberg, you can put Hunt at guard, whether it's the right or the left, and put Eichenberg here to start at your right tackle. Or even, if he has to play guard as well. I mean, this is a kid that's athletic. Like you said, the versatility is incredible for the Notre Dame linebackers. I mean, this kid, again, what the shirt I got on? I got the trap shirt on. This is a kid you could run the trap with. I mean, because he can really move, right? And anything you need to pull and stuff like that, that's an outstanding pick. Now, like you said, second round might be a reach, but if they could get the best out of him, again, you just added some beef there.
Pick 42, Vic. I'm not upset with pick 42,
Yeah.
considering that you weren't going to get him at pick 81.
Yeah,
So that's not a
that's the
terrible
turnaround.
reach in that
Right.
situation.
I mean, hey,
And
if it wasn't on the top 50, it probably would have been 51, 55, around there somewhere. So
top 60, top 65.
right,
That's still a good player.
right,
You don't have to be top 10 to be a good player. You know
right.
what I'm saying? The best analogy to make here is the first round picks in these drafts. You just got 5 years on those guys. That's the reason why sometimes they're your first picks. 5 years to make a decision. Some of these
Mm-hmm.
guys are going to be good in 2-3 years, and you're not going to have to take 5 years to figure it
Right.
out. And that's just why you want to get guys that fit your scheme. So as we consider this draft, I'll give them a solid B plus, A minus here. I think they got extremely good value. I like some of the other later round picks. I think they can be contributors, if not special teams players, or worst case scenario, practice squad players. So I'm going to give the
Right.
Dolphins a B plus here. That's where we'll start there. And Vic, if you would like, you can give them a grade as well.
Yeah, I mean that's B plus, A minus. I think that tight end as well was an outstanding pick in the third round. So, I mean, again, they got a lot of players because of the trades that they made. They got depth. They got a lot of assets to use in these past two drafts. So, and if I'm not mistaken, they got an extra first round next year too, or was it second round?
They got an extra first round in the second round next year too.
Oh wow! So I mean, they doing an awesome job, and bro, at the end of the day, it's gonna be what that quarterback is gonna do. And I think I think I think is they're gonna have to determine that this season, dog. They're gonna have to determine this season if Tua is gonna be that guy, because this is too much talent to go to waste.
Absolutely. So the next team we're going to go to is we're going to go to the Jets of the New York Jets. Let's start at the top. Zach Wilson. I believe Zach Wilson was the best player in the draft. You did as well. We talked a lot about this. I don't give a damn about what the CBS grade says here. It doesn't make a difference to me. But again, these are the things that we talk about consistently when people say this. As we say, Pete Perisco says that Justin Fields will be a better quarterback. Well, guess what, Pete? You've said this about a couple of quarterbacks, and it's never happened. So all I'm going to say is I'm here for all of the smoke. Bring them to me, and we can get it going. But point blank, period. Best player in the draft from the Views from the 22 board. Then we come back in the next part of the draft. We trade up, and we grab creme de la creme beef by drafting a guy who's going to be able to either play some left tackle for you which at 6'4", that's around the range that he can be a left tackle. 6'4" is a good size, and 315. He is pretty agile, but he may be best served to be a Pro Bowl left guard. He may be an All Pro at that position. So let's start with those two picks alone. Vic, what were some of the things that you seen with those picks that you just? How were you feeling about those first two picks?
And bro, like you said, Zach Wilson to us not only the best quarterback in this draft, but the best player. I mean, there's so many good things on the field, whether it's attacking outside the numbers. Like I said before in the little film study that we had with him, the hash marks in college are a lot wider than they are in the NFL. And for him to make some of the throws from opposite hash to the sideline was just unbelievable. At times, he doesn't even have to hitch to get a deep ball down the field. He has a very strong lower body that he can get, and a strong arm, obviously an elite talent arm to get the ball downfield. So, again, if we're wrong, I'll be happy to be wrong about this pick because what he did in college for that BYU program is tremendous. Vera Tucker, wide body dude right there, man. So when you put that dude at left guard, like you said, right next to Mekhi Becton, who was their draft pick last year, first round pick last year at left tackle, now you got your left side that looks like, I don't know, a brick wall or something right now. So, you put those guys together, hopefully they pan out to the value that you drafted them at. And you got yourself a tremendous, left side at least.
Absolutely, we can continue to build from this. So then we get one of our favorite guys there, Elijah Moore, in the second round, right there, pick 34. Tremendous value right there. I think he's one of the best pure hands catchers in this draft or whatever. I will be honest with you. I think this pick here shows us that they want to be a little bit more explosive down the field. So I'm really, really here for that. And to pick up Michael Carter from UNC, he's the second. He's the change of pace back for my favorite back in the class, who was Javonte Williams. I think this is a great value too at pick 107. I mean, I really think overall here they just picked up a lot of guys that are just of great value. A defensive tackle like Jonathan Marshall here, seen a little bit. I was able to see some of him. I think at the end of the day, what people forget is in these situations is when you see depth like this and the people picking up guys like this, these are one of those guys like Marshall here is one of those guys that he's going to be very intriguing because of the type of defense they play.
Yeah.
Even though being 6'3", 317, he's going to be able to play multiple spots on that front. And that gives, and would have the Jets been very good at developing defensive tackles, guys on the defensive front. So as we rank this, do you have any other players that you were really, really, really happy with here?
No, I mean, for them to get Elijah Moore at 34, which we thought was a much, obviously is good value. We thought he was definitely a better player than, pick 34. This is a kid that you're going to put in the slot. And I mean, quickly could be one of the top 5 slot players in the league. I mean, that's how good this kid is. He catches everything. He's quick twitch. He's fast. So, his routes are actually very precise as well for a young player. So that's going to be an awesome steal for them right there. And then Michael Carter, like you said, that change of pace back that they needed, that UNC had after, Javonte. I mean, that was a good 1-2 punch right there. So, I mean, they did an awesome job in this draft putting some offensive players together. Some people are going to argue, well, they didn't do this for Sam Bradford. Well, hey, listen, 2 things with that. It is what it is. They made better picks recently. And also Sam Bradford he's not that guy like that. So he has another chance. We'll see what it is. And then the rest of the draft, they went all defense, which was great. Just keep adding to that defense. So they did trade. They threw, both third round picks that they had for Vera Tucker. But again, if you feel like that's some well-needed beef right there, hey man, we clearly value beef more than everybody else, and the Jets did too.
Absolutely. So for the Jets, I'm gonna give them an A-. I think the value here is through the roof with every pick. I think every pick was pretty well thought of for the most part, and I think getting the best player in the draft, you warrant yourself around in the A range anyway. And then when you add a top 5 player in the class at his respective position and quite a few positions here, I like it. So I'm gonna give him an A-.
I mean, that's a good point, bro. Like easily Zach Wilson to us is the best quarterback. Vera Tucker is easily what, the second best guard or the best guard.
If he's not the second, put it like this, he's top three. Because if
Right.
if Slayton doesn't work out at tackle, I know he will be a great guard.
Which one's Slayton?
Slater. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, Slater. Yeah, no. So yeah, whether Slater plays tackle or guard, yeah. I mean, this is easily a top, two guard right here that they drafted. And then Elijah Moore easily is a top 5 receiver to us, if not top 3. So, I mean, bro, this is an A+ draft to me.
Absolutely. So the next team we're gonna slide to, we're gonna actually go to the Vikings of Minnesota. We're gonna call this like it is, man. I just want people to understand Minnesota is a very intriguing team. I really enjoy this team. But look, I mean, just the way that they drafted. They started off with Christian Durasaw, who may be the best pure left tackle in this class.
Yeah.
You come back next, you get Kellen Mond, who I think is one of those players that you can maybe develop behind Kirk Cousins. Um, Chaz, Chaz is a decent linebacker. Don't get me wrong, but the pick that I'm gonna tell you, the pick that got me excited. And Big Shot Ron and of course Trav were there because we did a little draft DC for this. Wyatt Davis at 86. That is supreme value. You get a guard that can go do so many good things. And it's really, really crazy to me because the overall thing that I notice is one thing. When a player like this falls, 6'4", 315 plus pounds, is going to be able to play all across that interior for you. And you're talking about establishing the running game with Dalvin Cook, with the best pure left tackle in this class. This looks like one of those draft classes that may put the Vikings where they need to be.
Yeah, I mean, again, Darisaw and White Davis, both supreme athletes for that position, for that, for the offensive line. And this is something that we discussed on the day of the draft. Is the Vikings love to use a lot of the outside zone schemes and stuff running the football. They're a very athletic offensive line with some of the draft picks they did the last couple of years too. So now you can plug in Darisaw at your left tackle, you can plug in Davis at your left guard, and all of a sudden you got the whole offensive line is looking good with the 2 picks that they made last year. The Boise State kid who I don't remember his name right now, but they put him at right guard. So now they have athletes all across that offensive line who's just gonna be an impressive running game for a team that was already running the ball well with Dalvin Cook. So that's going to be fun to watch. Kellen Mond can push, Kirk Cousins to get better, maybe be more consistent. We already know Cousins is a great quarterback. We just got to be consistent. So again, Kellen Mond, this is another pocket passer. We believe strongly here at Views about, we're heavy on pocket passing quarterbacks, and Kellen Mond is exactly what that is and what is needed there at that position.
Absolutely. So what would be your draft grade for this?
I'll give them an A-, simply because they didn't have a second round pick. But hey, they traded it. Didn't they use it to get Darisaw, or was Darisaw?
The second round pick, they used that second round pick actually was the pick that they traded for from Baltimore. They traded with Jacksonville for Ngakwe. Then they end up trading to Baltimore for a third round pick.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, listen, it's an A-, regardless. So it was a great draft, man. Again, athletes. They picked some real serious athletes.
Absolutely. So then we go to the next draft class. I'm going to agree with you with the A-, by the way. The next draft class, we're going to go to the Browns. We talked about this. We talked about a lot of things with a team like Cleveland. I'm not high on the first pick because corners are one of those picks that you really have to be very, very careful with in general. But I love the JOK pick. I think that's a very, very underrated pick right there. I think he's probably going to end up being one of the best linebackers in this class, and he's going to be a perennial All-Pro pick potentially. As we sit here and we transition to go to the next stage of the NFL linebacking core. Why? I think he has all of the abilities that you want in a linebacker. And I think he covers short areas very, very well. So let's start there. I mean, and let's just get into their draft. What was the most impressive part for you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously getting JOK in the second round. I mean, we had a first round grade for him, as did many other people. Clearly, the NFL didn't, because I mean, this is going to be a steal for them, bro. I mean, we talked about them using a lot of nickel package anyway, where they're going to have three corners and take one of the linebackers off the field. But this is a kid that can start immediately, right next to Anthony Walker. And there is depth already at this linebacker spot for the Browns. But JK is just that good. Very quick twitch athlete. He can cover. He can, again, cover the running backs or the tight ends when you need him to. So that's a great pick. And then Newsome, watching a little bit of him, I understand why you think that might have been a reach in the first round. He may have been a second round grade as well. But I think, again, this is, for me with the Browns, they have a roster where they could just keep adding depth. Keep adding depth. The defense wasn't great, but it's a very young defense, and hopefully, from an optimistic standpoint, they can get better, and they definitely did that with this draft. The Schwartz kid, I saw a little bit of him too. I mean, this is another slot guy that's just a lot of speed as well. So I mean, this is a kid. If it don't work out with Odell Beckham, I'm not saying he can replace him, but he can help Baker in the short areas. Obviously between the numbers and stuff like that. And then of course Tommy here in the fourth round. You want to talk about him a little bit more?
Yeah. The thing that I like here is I like the Jason Hudson pick here. Again, keep adding quality depth to your offensive line. You're talking about a guy who's probably going to be able to play right behind Conklin. And when Conklin gets ready to go, you may have a perennial Pro Bowler right there behind him. Develop your offensive line and keep beef upon beef upon beef, and you never know where you may end up in these situations.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that pick there. Tommy from Ohio State, he's one of those guys that a lot of Ohio State fans were really, really high on. They loved him. They thought he was a really, really good pass rusher, really good against the run. I think he's a good player, and I think he's a quality guy for the rotation that the Browns were building. I think overall, man, to be honest, this is one of those classes that you can give a B plus to. I think this pick here is going to be the thing that determines if it's a great class or not.
Right, exactly.
Because
I mean, I'm with you on
so
that.
early.
Right. I'm with you on that. I mean, I can't disagree with that. Like we had a second round grade on him. He was picked early. There was other, positions that they could have hit at that time. Even I bet you if we look at the draft order itself, they could have probably grabbed somebody else that we felt has higher value. But again, they were able to just keep adding some depth at that defense, man, which was much needed for a really good offense. To complement a really good offense.
And then the last but not least, we got the New England Patriots. Everybody's favorite team to hate. Well, I hate to be the person to tell you this. Their first three draft picks, they deserve an A.
That alone,
you get one of the most interested edge prospects in this class at Rodney Perkins from Oklahoma, and in the third round at pick 96. That's pretty incredible. Christian Barmore falling to the second round was very shocking to me. So I'm going to be honest. This is going to be very, very interesting. Vic, but let's talk about Mac Jones. The quarterback that fell to the Patriots. How did this happen?
Germ, a couple things, man. Let's be clear, right? This is Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots, right? This is a team that obviously dominated for the last 20 years. Of course, we know the biggest reason why he's no longer there. But to be completely honest, they haven't drafted. They're not like a top 10 team in terms of drafting, period. They do miss a lot of prospects. They do miss a lot of their draft picks. So for these first three picks, as far as how we feel about these kids, this should be one of their better classes. And I would hope so because I am very high on Mac Jones. And yes, he should have not fallen to 15, but this is a type of player that is so intelligent that he can run that EMP offense so well that, I mean, the Patriots, I think he starts right away, to be honest. I said it about if the 49ers drafted him. I said it if the Falcons drafted him. And I even said it if the Patriots drafted him. This is a kid that can start immediately. Okay. He's probably reached close to his ceiling already. Okay, because of the things that he's able to do. He can read the defense pre and post snap quickly. He can go through his progressions with ultimate poise. He's accurate. He's got touch. He's got feel for where the ball needs to be, whether it's a soft touch, whether it's he needs to laser it in. I mean, what this kid does, the 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 stuff that is concerning about him is his ultimately his arm strength. Can he win in the winter when it's cold? Can he drive the ball downfield to help keep the defense honest, right? For anything that's short or mid range. Mac Jones is an outstanding quarterback, and I'm sorry if he lives up to what I think he is. This is Tom Brady reincarnated again, and the league let him fall to the Patriots, and they're gonna be contenders again, dog. Sooner or later, if it's not this year, it's gonna be next year.
I think personally, this is the best value pick for me was Barmore. I like Mac as well, but to get a guy like this is equivalent to just saying we're going to give Bill with the best piece of defensive beef, and we're going to let him put him in the middle of a defense or wherever it is that he decides to line him up. Then we're going to add Ronnie Perkins to this, and we already added
96.
Judon. We've already added other pieces. We're gonna bring back Dante Hightower, and we're gonna bring back one of the most intriguing and the most well played secondaries of football last year.
Mhm.
This is going to be probably one of those defenses that they probably won't give up more than 21 points a game. And this is you got this all to blame for yourself. The league has I give this draft for Bill this time around, just with those picks alone.
Mhm.
You add a linebacker here. Again, you're not adding guys for the same reason that other teams will be adding things. You're adding guys for depth purposes. And
Not only
everything
that,
that
though,
they added athletes.
right, speed. Because it's again, that's the thing when it comes to the Bill Belichick and the style. Like he's very old school still with some of the way the ways he evaluates. The league is changing, and you need to get speed on that defense. And he's got some speed now on that defense as well to go with the players that are intelligent, that are strong, physical. Those are the kind of guys, a lot of heart. You know what I'm saying, to fight through, down and down out. That's the kind of players he likes. But he's starting to understand that he needs speed on that defense as well.
Absolutely. So with this draft class, I'm gonna give them an A.
Yeah.
I enjoy this class for them. Be on the lookout for. I'm gonna tell y'all this now. Be on the lookout for my guy right here. Where is he? Be on the lookout for this player right here, William Sherman from Colorado. He's going to be an intriguing player, and don't be surprised if Trey Nix finds a way to be on the field sometime this year. I'm just going to go ahead and put that all out there for everybody now.
Yeah.
So, with those things being said, and with those things being put into perspective, um, I'm gonna go to some comments as we get ready to wrap up. Everybody, shouts out to everybody in the comments. We appreciate y'all. I'm gonna actually do Jarrell, and I'm gonna do the pause. I'm gonna do the draft grade here real quick. Look at the Broncos real quick for Jarrell, and then I'll also do the Ravens for Dennis since he's in the
Yeah, so we
comments.
got the Ravens for that. Then I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not gonna be an A or a B plus.
Yeah, it's not.
Bro, like I said, man, like oh my god, watching Jones film, it's just fun to me. I don't know, people keep getting intrigued by these athletes in the pocket. I mean, at the quarterback position, because let's be honest, they don't do much work in the pocket if it's not going to be their first read. Once they have to get to their second or third read, that's when things start to get uncomfortable for these kids. And Trey Lance, Justin Fields, it kind of shows some of that stuff. Even though Justin Fields I like a lot better than Trey Lance. Again, that's gonna determine if they're gonna be great or not. It's gonna be the consistency, and Mac Jones has everything that we're looking for plus consistency. So we'll see what it is, man.
Denver, Patrick Surtain at number 9. I thought that this was good value for a cornerback. He was my third rated corner. In general, for me, Vic, he was probably your third, second, second 2-3 range
Right.
for you as well. But I think overall, you can't go wrong by adding another corner to a secondary that you're gonna have to contend with them.
Yes.
So it's gonna be a situation you're gonna have to do those things. I thought it was a reach here with Javonte Williams because they already have running backs. You still got Royce Freeman. You still have Melvin Gordon. So I thought that was a bit of a reach. But this pick of Quinn Meinerz right here, the pick number 98, I thought this is a steal. Again, quality beef. Quality beef. Versatility. That is a very, very big thing in the NFL, especially for your offensive line. And to add that was tremendous. I thought their first 3 picks was pretty good. Adding Baron Browning or whatever from Ohio State, that's an interesting dude. I don't know what he's gonna be in the league. We're gonna have to see what he turns out as. He didn't get a lot of clock and those type of things as some of these other guys. But I'm gonna tell you my favorite pick out of all of them. His name is Jamar Johnson, the safety from Indiana. Let me be clear when I tell y'all this. Jamar Johnson is going to be a very intriguing player. You put him with a guy that is like Justin Simmons. And you say, "Hey, I want you to be able to play in the middle of the field." His ability to get from hash mark to hash mark is exceptional. I think he's extremely extinctional. I think he's probably the better tackler out of a majority of these other guys in his class. But the one thing that I think he has is he has very, very good ball skills, Vic. I'm really impressed with this kid. And I was impressed. He had a very good game against Justin Fields at Ohio State. Justin Fields got caught staring down receivers, and he was the one that was standing there. So I'm gonna be honest. This might be my favorite pick of theirs, and that's no disrespect to the rest of them. As much as I like Javonte Williams, as much as we like Surtain and those other guys, but Jamar Johnson in the 5th round, Vic, that might be the pick that make them a no-fly zone again.
Yeah, I mean, the only game I saw was that game with Justin Fields because I mean it was one of his worst games of his college career. So I'm like, yo, this kid looks like an NFL range type of safety right here. He was always around the ball. So I'm pretty sure you are 100% right. You do a good job evaluating secondary players anyway. So we're gonna be looking out for that.
I'll be finding them. I'll be finding them.
No, it's. I mean, again, they're gonna need that. The Broncos team is gonna need that with the other teams in that division. Of course, the Chiefs, the up and coming Chargers, LA Chargers,
and Raiders.
And the Raiders. So, bro, they're gonna need all the defensive help they can get.
So Surtain,
real quick, Surtain. The only thing we had concerns about with him was his consistency in zone coverage, and his play speed just wasn't as fast as Caleb Farley and J.C. Horn. But he is a first round cornerback, and hey, if they felt like he was the 9th best player in the draft, more power to them. They can easily be right about that.
Josh, I got you too. I got you. Don't worry, bro. I got you. Dennis, you are next on the list. If y'all want us to talk about y'all team, we'll do it. I mean, we only 30 minutes in, y'all. If y'all to keep commenting and keep giving us stuff, we'll stay for another 30 minutes. That's because that's what we do for y'all. Let's go to the Baltimore Ravens here.
B.
All right, let's start here. All right, Rashad Bateman. Don't have a problem with the player. You know what my problem is? bro, why are we picking a receiver here? We just brought in Sammy Watkins to be our X. If Sammy Watkins is going to be our X and help us free up Hollywood Brown, then let's make that be what it is. We don't need another X receiver at this moment because at the end of the day, receiver is not the issue on this football team. Your quarterback still is developing. I'm not going to slander him. I'm not going to say anything negative. He's still developing. He's still on a rookie contract and he's still developing, bro. We don't know what he's going to be yet. You took one of my favorite players, Owe here, which is one of my favorite players in this class. When you took this kid, what pass rushers do you have on your team that complement what he has, which is being a supreme athlete? You have a supreme athlete here who's going to be able to play some outside linebacker for you. So he's going to help you in a run game immediately. But the problem is, Vic, when you talk about a guy who doesn't have elite pass rush moves, but he has elite traits that jump off the charts everywhere. We're talking about elite level explosiveness, great hand usage, great power on all those different things. It really puts us into perspective that this kid has a chance if he goes to the right team to be special. And that is what you ask for from these athletic guys. So Vic, jump in here. Let's go.
Listen, when we say about football, it's 50% stats, 50% film, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Jason, this is the ultimate player when it comes to that theory that I have. Okay, this is a kid that on film you can see the speed, you can see the athleticism, you can see the bend, you can see the flexibility that he has, and combine that with some pretty impressive strength for a kid that was playing on the defensive line at 253. Okay, you usually want some weight with that. Very strong player, obviously raw, but did not produce. There's no numbers to say that this kid was actually making an impact on defense. So it's going to be interesting to see, do they have the coaching? Do they have the talent around him to help him out? It's going to be interesting. Other than that, man, like if anything, Ben Cleveland in the third round was, again, very high value. I don't know what happened in this draft. A lot of guards, a lot of these offensive linemen fell further than we thought they should have. But
94, you had 94 players above him. Like it was just like you again, quality beef.
Perkins at 96. Perkins fell to 96. Beef on the defensive lines, so like, that's a steal right there with Ben Cleveland. But and then the Sean Wade pick, I forgot about that. But
terrible
pick. I don't know. I'll let you talk more about that one. But Bateman in the first round, man, I don't know, Jerm. Like, I'm not a big fan of the player. Seems a little slow for me too. The play speed is a little slow in the NFL. For the NFL level to me. So, but we'll see what happens there. Of course, like you said, we're gonna keep it as positive as possible. Lamar is still developing. Your quarterback is still developing. So we'll see.
But real quick, shouts out to MJ in the comments. What's good, family? Storm said that John Madden says 60% of the game is 90% mental. Okay, well, listen. I don't got time to do math today. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna keep this a positive. We're gonna keep going straight. We're gonna fly straight. You know what I'm talking about? So let me say this now. Tylen Wallace is an extremely gifted player. He's another one of those Oklahoma State wide receivers that is very, very interesting. We liked the kid from Oklahoma State last year, Vic, but he ended up going later in the draft. This kid is good, but I don't like who he's playing for. That's simple. Sean Wade. You talk about the dude that got barbecue on national TV in the national championship game. The way he played, he's undraftable in Mo Schefter's voice. But you know what? You're going to take him and you're going to try to turn him into a safety.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So that could be something that takes some time. This roster is ready to win now. This team is ready to win now. You don't need many more project players. You need players that you can put in position. And not only that, you drafted a running back in the 5th round that you're going to use as a fullback. What? You know what? I'm not going to give you an F. I'm not going to give you the obvious F. I'm going to give you a D+. Because everything about this draft class Depends on what? It depends on these three players right here.
Yeah.
Your first three picks. If this Owen kid can develop on his own with the Baltimore coaching staff, cool. You're gonna get an A+ player. If Ben Cleveland plays just like Kevin Zeitler, he's a right guard. That's why he's 335 pounds. So you put another right guard on your roster after you just signed one. I don't know what you're gonna do, but you know what? Let's see if he can play some left guard for him, Vic. Let's see if that's what he can do. He shows good athleticism, shows good feet, but in NFL, you're playing against elite players every night. This ain't that, and that ain't this. So let's just be real. So I'm gonna give him a D+. I want to see how some players develop and those type of things. Well, Dennis, if they say he's gonna play left guard, let's see what happens. I mean, again, I don't know what to do with that. Do with this what you may, but it is what it is. I just think the Ravens altogether, they draft players that could be talented, but they don't always fit their scheme. And if the player doesn't fit your scheme, Vic, does it make sense to draft them?
No. Because it's just a situation where the coaches probably feel like they can change a player. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens there.
All right, let me go to my guys. Category 5, Storms. Cincinnati is one of the teams that me and Vic wrote down anyway. We were intrigued by their draft.
Yeah.
Bro, obviously Odell Landry at 5. I'm not mad at the pick. I mean, I thought he was incredible. I thought he was one of the best receivers I ever scouted. From a talent standpoint, can do everything. Very, very good at tracking the ball. The ball tracking ability is tremendous. To go along with the short area quickness, I thought that was exceptional as well. Vic, I'm gonna let you jump in there. And being 6 foot even and weighing in at 208 pounds shows me that he's big enough to be able to do this and be able to do it at a dominator. And his lower body, Vic, is extremely thick. Pause. So this is not your average 6 foot receiver that you look at and say lanky. No, we talk about a guy that's got some size to him and some physicality. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I mean, and then the kid is only 20 years old, so I mean, his body could be still developing for all we know. But, this was one of the most intriguing picks of the draft because, of course, we saw what happened to Joe Burrow, who we think very highly of too, in terms of one of the better pocket passers in this world right now. So could have they gone with offensive linemen? Could they have gone with Sewell and start him at left guard, which was the guy that gave up the sack that almost tore, Joe Burrow's whole leg apart? They could have done that. But Jamar Chase, man, again, like you said, this is a kid that is just not only a tremendous receiver, and I mentioned this before. I mean, he is blocking downfield. He is hustling. He's all over the field, man. He's all over the field for an offense. And to me, that is a winning football player. Like a Larry Fitzgerald type, basically. He's going to participate in every single play and give 110%. And that's what I feel Jamar Chase is. I didn't get much to study on the Jackson Carman pick, but from what I'm hearing, he's a decent pick. I know Josh Storms was making fun of the head coach for saying that they got their tackles already. But we'll see what this kid can provide, for that depth and probably challenge some of these guys to get better.
Here's the thing, and we're going to be honest. Mm-hmm. Clemson's offensive line leaves a lot to be desired. A lot to be desired.
Yes.
I don't like this pick at all for 2 reasons, Vic. Number one, at 46, there are other guys that you could have drafted here that would have made more sense for your football team. Yeah. You say that you got your tackles. Okay, cool. So get better beef in other places. Why would you take tackles if you feel like you got your tackles?
That's a great point.
And there you go there. So that's how you know that people just be full of bull, and at the end of the day, and a lot of bull. This a side pick right here from Texas. Me and you have talked about him. I think he is potentially a very, very, very interesting edge rusher.
Yes.
Why? Because he gives you a guy that you're going to be able to put in with the guys like Hubbard and Dunlap and those type of, not Dunlap, but with Hubbard and all of the guys that you have on a defensive line, you're going to need some more guys like this. Long, explosive guys. You're going to need guys that are very, very good at getting around the edge, that can apply pressure just from their mere presence of speed. That's a key part in the NFL.
Yeah.
Speed is still a problem on the edge. So let's talk about that for a second, Vic. What were some of the things that you enjoyed about this player?
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, this kid is one of those guys that it's a natural athletic movements that you see on the field with him. Very quick twitch, explosive off his first stance, has some bend and stuff like that. I was able to watch a couple of his games, and one of his more intriguing games was against Tevin Jenkins, the Oklahoma State right tackle. That was drafted in the second round. I forgot to which team that was, who I love that offensive tackle.
The Bears.
And the Bears took him. That was a solid pick for the Bears. So aside, though, that matchup with those two was fun to watch. Of course, Jenkins kind of dominated mostly, as the offensive lineman should dominate, but Osai ends up getting the sack to win the game at the end. Right? Because Texas was leading, and he was able to beat Jenkins, which, is still debatable if it was Jenkins' fault. But Osai went and made the final sack to win the game for Texas. And, this kid is fast. So they got themselves some good quality depth there with that rusher. And if they're able to develop him like they did with Carl Lawson, then you got yourself some two guys there that can rush a passer very well.
Absolutely. And one of my favorite picks here, Deontay Smith. Vic, we talked about him. That's the kid from ECU that we seen at the Senior Bowl.
Yep.
He has all of the makings that this guy could be the left tackle of the future. He could be the blindside protector. You just need him to bulk up a little bit and continue to be this great guy that he is on his feet. And you might have something here, man. So let's talk about him.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pure, like you said about Derisol. When we say pure left tackle, these are guys that are athletic, that are long, have, long limbs and stuff like that, because they need to get their hands out to these rushers. These guys, these right ends are very fast and quick twitch. They're going to try to get around the edge, but they can also try to hit you inside. So these kids have those quick feet to go into their pass sets, and move laterally, whichever way they go. So Deontay Smith shows some of that athletic speed, athletic quickness with his feet on his pass sets. This kid that has some off-field issues, but if he's able to get it together, I mean, they might have a steal, not in the first year, but maybe 2-3 years down the line.
Absolutely, and that's the key here. We drafting talent at this stage to get a guy like that at pick 139.
Yeah.
Traits are just like you said, traits. That's important. That is very, very important. So we have to make sure that we understand, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of stuff here that we have to, as fans of the proverbial game, we have to understand. Excuse me. We have to see all of the things that teams are looking at in order for us to really understand why they're making some of the picks they're making. This kid is worth it. I think he could challenge for a potential spot, and I'm here for it. So as we get ready to wrap up the show, Vic, is there anything else that you would like to shout out? Anything like that?
No, I mean, I think shout out to the Chiefs. Was another team that I kind of had like to the side here on my list. This is a team that used their first round pick on Orlando Brown, which ends up being pick 31. Obviously, is that high value? Is that good value for Orlando Brown? If he was in this draft, where would he be drafted? Probably top 10, top 15. So, that could be considered a good first round pick. They got Creed Humphrey in the third round, who you can plug in your interior. So, I mean,
they may have got him with a second round pick.
Was it second round pick? thought I saw a third, but no, I mean whichever way. I mean, I think that was a good value pick right there. So the Chiefs went for the offensive line very hard. We saw what happened in the Super Bowl. You got yourself your $45 million quarterback back there. Protect them at all costs, obviously. So the Chiefs did a good job doing that.
All right, and best value pickup in the draft. Ooh, that's a good one.
I mean, we covered so many in the second and third round, Jern. It's like there's so many in the second, third round. I mean, I hate to say it, but I'm gonna go early then and go Mac Jones at 15. If he's what I think he is, he should have went top 5. Period. That's a championship quarterback to me.
Worst value pick is Trey Lance. I'm gonna tell you like this. Why am I saying Trey Lance?
Man.
Because if you draft him in the top 12, top 13, it's not a big deal. But when you draft him in the top 5, that's saying you think that this guy is going to be able to be a franchise cornerstone at the position. And he doesn't show franchise cornerstone traits. He shows a lot of traits that will make the game interesting, that are just interesting in general. He shows you a lot of Colin Kaepernick type traits.
Yeah.
And you guys were critical of Colin Kaepernick, but you're not critical of other players like Lamar Jackson, which don't make sense to me. So I'm not going to allow this to be a situation where I argue with people. We're just going to let the players do what they do. If he proves me wrong, he proves me wrong. Hey, guess what? I'm okay with that. It's okay.
Right here. Receipts right here. Again, I don't feel like he was a first-round quarterback, let alone a top 3 quarterback. I'm disappointed in what Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch saw with their eyes. But hey, if they're right, they're getting paid millions of dollars to do what their jobs. If they're right and we're wrong, so be it. But Trey Lance, versus Mac Jones. I mean, like I said, if it's not going to be Mac Jones, that means Jimmy Garoppolo is your starting quarterback again. At least for 2021, and obviously the writing is on the wall for him. They will move on from him, but you're replacing him with a Trey Lance. I don't know if that's the right pick.
He said worst value pick. Give me
Jackson Carman.
I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say him because I think the Houston Texans did a terrible job of drafting. Period.
They got a quarterback with the first pick, was it?
In the 3rd round.
So their first pick, they pick a quarterback.
Yeah.
And who was it?
It was the kid from Stanford. What is his name?
I don't even think I studied him, bro, to be honest.
It's not much to study. Let's see. Where is this word at? Let me tell you exactly what his name is. Davis Mills.
Oh yeah, okay.
I mean, my thing is this, and it's really, really simple. The only reason why they drafted him was because the offensive coordinator for the current Houston Texans organization is the same coordinator that he had at Stanford.
Okay, fair enough.
So with that being said, that's my pick that I don't like the most. So with that being said, Vic, final words, final thoughts.
No, I mean, just looking forward, man. We're gonna try to put in some more work, some more shows, try to get some more film out there. Please support the film. It is some of the hardest work that needs to get done with all the editing and things like that. So the film will get out there. And other than that, man, just looking forward. Things should slow down for Mo a little bit in terms of his, jobs and businesses. So hopefully we'll get him on the show as soon as possible as well. Absolutely. Thanks for everybody for the support, though.
Absolutely, and thanks. Shouts out to everybody in the comments. All the views for the 22. Make sure. Matter of fact, views for the 22 in general. The Facebook group, views for the 22. Check us out. The Instagram page for the views _22, and then of course for the actual Twitter, it is views 22. Just check us out there. Of course, we got the scene Instagram, scene _ on Twitter. Facebook, all capital letters, SCEN. And of course, the Twitchers, we got _scene. YouTubers, y'all should already be liked. subscribed, and everything that's like that. Notifications on. Never know when we may go live. But at the end of the day, this is Views from the 22, live on the scene. Vic Jr., Germ So True, signing out from the crew. We'll see y'all next time.